Good morning, folks. Hope you're well. How's lockdown treating you? Are you experiencing the same kind of thing as you did in lockdown 1? Kind of doesn't feel the same, does it? It's no different. It's all the same as it was before. So welcome to my Property News Live. Please don't forget to click on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification. If you're watching on Facebook, click on the follow button. You know what to do, folks. Hi, I'm Rick Gannon. Welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, we do have a few rules. What you have to do, folks, is say hi. You've got to say hi and you've got to tell me where you're from, and then we do the shout outs. That's what we do. Either love it or hate it. That's just simply what we do here. Now we're getting busy on the newsfeed because we're in lockdown again. So thank you all so much for being here. Please do tell me where you're watching from, and if you do like the newsfeed, please click on that share button as well. So let's get straight into the news first, and then we'll do the shout outs afterwards. So today is Wednesday, it's the 6th of January, and London agency Dexter's says the number of letting applicants rose by 50% in 2020, with a particular surge in November and December. An early sign, it hopes, of a market turnaround for the capital in 2021. Now, the capital has really struggled during the last 6 months, with people having almost a mass exodus into areas outside of the capital. In a statement on its performance last year and prospects for the next 12 months, Dexter's says that at the start of COVID-19, there were concerns for some property commentators that there would be a mass exodus of buyers and tenants moving from London. However, by the end of 2020, it's clear that there are many more buyers and tenants looking for property in London than are looking to leave. So this has not occurred, and now that a vaccine has been found, confidence in central London living and working has rapidly returned. The agency currently says its corporate lettings and international relocation team are busy talking to numerous people from all over the world who are already lining up their moves for early 2021. It recently carried out a survey of a sample of its 30,000 landlords in London, and finding that 99% of them are committed to their investment in the long term, and 78% were looking to grow their portfolios. During 2020, there was a lot of choice for domestic tenants because of the lower number of tourists and business travellers, which enabled many tenants to take longer lets and move closer to central London. The firm says that this trend is likely to reverse in 2021 as COVID-19 issues recede and short-term lettings return. This is most likely to put upward pressure on rents. Visitors to Dexter's website increased by 20% in 2020, as the company Christmas Day's website visits saw a 70% rise, and then Boxing Day and December the 27th, 128 and 131% rises compared to 2019. So let's do the shout out, folks. Where is everybody today? We've got like a third of the amount of people that's normally on. Say hi, folks. Don't forget to tell me where you're from. Let's do the shout outs. This is what we do here. Good morning, Sarah. Nice to see you today. Good morning, Julie. You've clicked on the share button. Thank you, Julie. Good morning, Joanne. Happy New Year to you. Good morning, Michelle from Wandsworth. And good morning to Mikhail from Windsor. And Helen from Northants. Good morning to Bala from London. Good morning to Mihaela from Bucharest. Good morning to Yemi from Essex, and to Mark watching from Devon. Chris and Mark watching from Devon. Good morning, Mihaela. You've shared it. Thank you. Melanie, good morning. You're watching today from London. And Matt from Manchester. Kirtan, you're watching from Hertfordshire. Debbie from Bournemouth, Anne-Marie watching from Edinburgh, and Peter watching from Ipswich, and Toadfish. Hi Rick, love the show. Your energy and information is a great way for me to start my day in property. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Don't forget to click the share button. Creesha, good morning from Harrogate. Joe, good morning from Bishop Stortford. I used to run a pub in Bishop Stortford called the Wobbly Wheel. Is that still there, Joe? That was years ago when I was in the pub trade, because I had a chain of pubs myself. Last chance for shout-outs, folks. Get them in. Kay, good morning from Cheshire. And Falaki, good morning to you, watching from Leicester. Okay, what's next in the news today? Where are we? Wednesday the 6th. Activists from Shelter and Generation Rent have led the charge for a renewed eviction ban in the light of the latest coronavirus restrictions in England. Generation Rent last evening, day before yesterday now, tweeted 3 demands of the government. And they were: bring back the eviction ban, close courts and suspend bailiff action. Isn't that 3 in itself? End rent debt, raise local housing allowance, scrap the benefit cap and provide grants to cover rents, and end no-fault evictions and evictions where the tenant is in no more than 2 months of rent arrears. The campaign says now is not the time for renters to be evicted through no fault of their own. And Shelter also on Twitter called for more protection for renters from eviction and scrapping of the benefit cap. Meanwhile, the lockdown introduced by Scotland by the devolved Parliament has prompted an almost immediate demand from activists for that country's eviction ban to be extended indefinitely. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has introduced measures which have come into effect, which requires people to stay at home for the maximum amount of time for at least the rest of January. Outdoor gatherings are cut back severely. Places of worship and schools are to be closed. And this is in addition to hospitality, leisure and non-essential retail sectors, which have already been shut for some days. Almost immediately upon the Scottish Government making that decision, the Living Rent organisation tweeted, with the new lockdown measures in place, it is essential that the Scottish Government extend the full eviction ban. In early December, an eviction ban was introduced by Sturgeon's administration, which meant that because of the timescales involved in Scotland, no actual eviction would take place until mid-March anyway. The devolved administration said in a statement that the move would give extra protection to tenants during the coronavirus pandemic, and it would reduce the burden on local authorities and would also make it easier for people to self-isolate. Housing Minister Kevin Stewart said at the time, we took early action to, in effect, halt eviction action until March 21. Due to the pandemic, we have supported tenants throughout this difficult period through a number of actions, including increasing our discretionary housing fund from 11 million to 19 million to provide additional housing support. And shortly we will introduce our tenant hardship fund. We are now taking this additional temporary step after carefully assessing the unique housing situation created by the pandemic. Next today, the landlords trade body says it welcomes a change of heart by the government over details of the Green Homes Grant scheme. Now, until now, it's been difficult for landlords and other homeowners to find installers who meet the minimum requirements for the grant. But changes coming into effect this week means subcontractors are no longer required to be Trustmark registered and certified with publicly available specifications or microgeneration certification scheme. Now that's what they had to have before in order to be able to complete the work. However, any subcontracted work must still be carried out in accordance with the relevant PAS requirements. The Deputy Director of Campaigns at the National Residential Landlord Association, Mira Chinduroy, says that this is good news for landlords. We have had an incredible amount of interest from our members following the Green Homes Grant announcement. However, we heard from a large proportion of members who said that they were having huge problems finding local installers with capacity to carry out the work, and this was causing a backlog. The Nrla has campaigned for further funding to be made available to help landlords go beyond the legal minimum of energy efficiency measures set out by the government for the private rental sector. With the grants, which were extended to March 2022, landlords will be able to claim up to £5,000 per rental property. The Nrla Green Homes Grant campaign has been underway since October, encouraging landlords to apply for a voucher towards the cost of installing energy efficient and low carbon heating systems and improvements into their homes. As the Green Homes Grant scheme is available to landlords and homeowners in England only, the Nrla is also campaigning for the Welsh Government to replicate the scheme. Have you applied, anyone here on the feed, for this? I know that I've spoken to quite a few people that have applied for this and haven't heard anything at all. It's just in the system. Seems to be a little bit odd whether the system is just churned because there are too many applicants. I don't know. Folks, before we move on with the newsfeed, I just want to tell you that my supporter group is open. Now, if you'd like to become a supporter for a very small subscription, pay as you go, you get live content from me every day in the supporter group, and you get to ask me any questions directly, almost as your mentor in the supporter group. So there's a small fee for that. It's a monthly subscription, pay as you go. Now, today in the supporter group, I'm doing a live goal setting and masterclass planning session. So if you like my content and if you like the way I deliver it, come over to the supporter group, have a look, see if you like it. It's great value, and I'm really going to have an emphasis on growing that group this year for it to be a one-stop place for you to hang out for all property and business related content. So to join the supporter group, open up the questions box and you'll see in the little tab that there's a little badge that says supporter. Click on that and it will take you to the supporter page, and then you can become a supporter. Now today at 1 o'clock I'm doing an hour masterclass on planning and goal setting, so I'd love to see you over there. So whilst there is optimism over the coronavirus vaccine, it's likely that COVID-19 will continue to change tenants' traditional aspirations in 2021. Now, this is according to a lettings industry insurance firm called HomeLet. Now, the chief exec of this company has said, whilst overarching optimism remains strong for 2021, with vaccines being rolled out for COVID-19, we can still expect a year that will be disrupted by the impact of the virus. With the new national lockdown and the prospect of additional restrictions to help curb the impact of the virus and new variants, we can expect the demand for certain property types and locations to grow, pushing rents up even further. Now, with the uncertainty in a range of job markets and unemployment in general, we've seen an exceptional demand for our products that protect rental incomes for landlords. Now, contrary to perception, the vast majority of private landlords couldn't survive financially if their tenants failed to pay the rent, especially for an extended period. Lettings agents have been key to providing landlords with access to products and services which help to mitigate the risk of rental arrears, which may well remain high throughout 2021. So HomeLet have also released its latest lettings market snapshot. Now, the average rent in the UK, measured just before the turn of the year, is now a staggering £979. Now, gosh, that's like shot up over the last 6 months. Now that shows a 2.7% increase on December last year. Well, London is excluded from these figures. The average rent in the UK is now £838, showing an increase of 5.7%. That's pretty good in consideration to what we've had to put up with. The single largest region increase in the last 12 months has been the southwest of England, and they've gone up by 10%, whilst rents in London have continued to fall by another 4.5% on average in the past year. In December 2020, average rental value in London was £1,576, and that was 86% higher than the rest of the UK. Excluding London, it's £838. Folks, that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed that. If you are new here, please do click on the follow button if you're watching on Facebook. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube and LinkedIn, please do click on that subscribe button. Okay, folks, I think we've got a few more last minute shout outs. Good morning to Krish and Joe. Kay, good morning to you from Cheshire. Falaki, good morning from Leicester. Glyn, good morning. Doesn't say where you're from though, but you're watching from YouTube, which is awesome. Joe, what was that in the town? It's not there now. Joe, can't remember. It was years ago. Goodness, it was 20 years ago. It's called the Wobbly Wheel in Bishop's Stortford, I'm sure it was. Anyway, hey ho. Julie, good morning. There is currently an eviction ban until the 11th of January. Shame they don't know what is actually going on. They just jump on the back of it for propaganda, Julie, don't they? Absolutely. Maria, good morning from London. And Maralise from Cambridge. Daniel, good morning. And Sarah, green scheme, too many hurdles. Spoke to our builder, but it all takes too long and would have delayed our full refurb by months. So you've got to look at that as the, you know, where does the balance lie? For £5,000 for a 6-month delay, then it's not going to be worth it. However, it does put you up, obviously, on the EPC ratings, ready for the next change, which is coming. Julian, good morning. Doesn't say anything, just says Julian. Julian, you didn't comment. You just pressed the button. Sammy, ending rent debt. Not a good idea after COVID-19. There may be a large number of evictions with landlords seeking new tenants, but these potential new tenants will have hidden rent arrears. Krish, thank you, no problem. Toadfish looked at applying for the Green Homes grant, but would have come away from my usual build team as it didn't meet the requirements. Yeah, Sarah's just said something very similar. So this subcontract change is welcomed. Awesome. Melinda, hi from Watford. And Curtin, you're saying thank you, no problem. Toadfish saying, do I find that info simply on the Nrla website? Which info are you referring to? Have a look, Toadfish, or go over to propertyinvestortoday.co.uk, which is the source of today's information. All right, folks, so don't forget my supporter page is open. If you'd like direct contact to me for daily property updates and content, today I'm doing a live session for 1 hour. It's a mastermind session for goal setting and planning. Now, it's just £9 a month, folks. That's all it is. And Facebook take virtually all of that, so I hardly get any of it. But it's starting today. In order to get in, you've got to click on the subscribe button, which is in the comments below here, to become a supporter. Get yourself in the supporter page, and I'll see you at 1 o'clock. All right, folks, that's it from me today. Back here tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you for following, and don't forget to stay safe. Hi, I'm Rick Gannon. Welcome back to my channel.